Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with another found footage movie. This one is actually, I'm not sure if it's the second one after the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project came out in, although it's my favorite movie, I should know this, 1999 or 2000, I'm not sure. But this one, the Collinwood story, came out in 2002, directed by Michael Costanza. Now, before I start, please like, subscribe, and comment. It's free. Um, you basically have your fork. What this movie actually did was, it's what's special on with this found footage ish movie is that this one, I believe, is the first one that uses the video chat format. You know, like in Unfriended, in the host, you have multiple of these video chat found footage movies, you know? And like the host, I liked, that was during lockdown. But this one, okay, you have Rebecca and Johnny, her ex-boyfriend. Rebecca is living in New Jersey somewhere, and Johnny in no, Rebecca in Philadelphia, and Johnny in New Jersey. And and Johnny has this friend called Billy. He always comes in the chat, and then he's showing his ass. He's showing his dick. He's high as a kite. I don't know what this guy is doing in this movie. He doesn't even give. The only thing that he does is he introduces, because he did it for shits and giggles, that he contacted a medium called Madame Vera. So he does that shit with Rebecca, and first Rebecca, and it's a weird lady. First she has this computer voice saying, "This is all copyright protected, all for fun, nothing to hurt people. I'm very gentle," and then she puts on a candle, and we see this woman with this really black glasses in this really dark room. I wouldn't see shit. And she has all these chandeliers. I mean, these candle. What's it called? These candle. Yeah, chandeliers. And but it's still dark. And she's predicting that she's feisty, that she is a feisty woman, and this and this and that. And then she starts to mumble in French, and then she says, you gotta get out. You gotta get out now. You gotta get out now." And then she cuts it off. Okay. So Johnny does it, and she says, "Is your friend Rebecca? She has to get the hell out. She has to get the hell out because a cult member he first drowned his kids and blown his wife's head off, and then he hung himself. This cult member was a member of a higher cult, like a Manson cult, because we see this guy for a millisecond at the end of the movie. So spoilers, you're warned that he has this pentagram in his ear, and I think that Manson had that too, and then long hair. Now apparently this all happened in the house where Rebecca is living, and they were holding these seances with all their acolytes in the attic. And John is getting more and more aggravated. He wants to go there, and then at some point she calls, Rebecca calls Vera again, and what the hell is happening here? I mean, I looked it up. Is this real? And she says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know you. Then John calls, and then because he feels fucked over, and she's then, okay, listen to me. You got to get the hell. You got to get her the hell out of there. The seances are still being held. The seances are still being held. You got to get the hell out of here. And then, so I don't understand why she. I think because she's already turning. She's turning. And I think that's the reason why she didn't tell Rebecca too much, because she felt that an evil presence was already working on her. But when Johnny called, she was kind of okay, but then she got more bitchier with time. Then sometimes this Billy asshole comes in and he's like, "Hey, you want a party fart?" And that's it. Really, he doesn't do that. That's the only fucking thing he does. He was so annoying. Oh. In the movie, listen, okay, so what happens is Rebecca takes, she says, okay, Johnny's looking at the crime scene pictures, and it's that house, and no, it's the house of the head cultist, and they didn't found jack shit. But then Johnny sees this little puppet, this devil puppet with like a plush, and he sees it in the bathtub, and then when he wants to scroll away and scroll back to the bathtub, it's away, it's gone. But he saw a picture of it drawn that apparently the cult leader held this puppet during his seances. So the puppet was gone. Now, okay, so what happens, and this is the spoiler area, so she goes up to the attic. She's actually like, fuck you, I'm gonna look at the attic. You do what you want. And she goes to the attic, she takes the laptop with her, but because back then you didn't have like these smart cams and shit like that. And there is a brief moment when she looks at John, or Johnny, when he's also looking, and she smiles like evil, like, yeah, which insinuates that she is probably already a acolyte of this Collingswood cult. So she's going upstairs, and then she gets a call from the Vera, the medium. She says, "You should get the hell out of there. He's gonna have you. You're gonna have to love him. You're gonna have to love him." Because what the guy did was he killed multiple of his cult members that didn't want to be in his cult anymore. And what he did was he slashed out their eyes and made this big ass smile with a knife, you know, like the Joker in Batman, all the way here. And she takes off her glasses, and you see that one eye is gone. Apparently Vera was a member of this acolyte, was one of these acolytes, and she wanted gone. But they felt it, and they took her, they took out an eye, but she still could fight, and she ran away, and she hid. That's why in all this darkness she hid. Stupid hiding, because if you are plastering your fucking face on the internet, and it's only gonna be more modernized, you're gonna be found. Because these seances, were in the 70s, but they were still happening. Yeah, apparently, because this guy, this, he was a Frenchman, the head cultist, the Charles Manson type. He's still, he's in the basement. He was living in the basement all the time, like Black Christmas from 1974. The killer's in the basement. Yeah. So she gets rushed, then everything goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And then Johnny is like, whoa, whoa, what's happening? What's happening? And then his back door slams shut. There's nobody there. But then you hear it gets dark. You hear him, "Ah, whoa," and we see him sitting there with his eyes crudely cut out and his, you know, happy smile cut in his face. And then we see the puppet in the attic, and we see Rebecca smiling evil like. So what happened is basically she was already halfway through the movie. She was already a cult member. She was already possessed by this guy, and acolytes went to Johnny because he was delving too deep and interfering. So they killed him, which is weird because these were humans, not ghosts. So the fact that his door closes out of nowhere and then somebody's in the room, although there's nobody coming in the room, that was weird. And the movie was boring. I'm gonna be honest, the movie was boring. Oh my god. An hour and 30 minutes. It took, I think, the last 15 minutes, even less, something started to happen. You know, it's the scene where she goes into the attic, and that's the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes. And Avira, say, that wide eye that she has, it's the was such a, yeah, but back then it was revolutionary because with those video chats, that was something completely new, and that was probably back then. Whoa! So it's actually the father of the video chat found footage movies, the Collinwood story. Now, like I said, I didn't like it. It was constantly back there and back again. Johnny wanted to tell her, "I love you. I want to fuck you. I want to drive to your house. 8-hour drive. I don't care. I'm gonna slap it so I keep it warm for you. So I can put it in you. I want you in me." And Rebecca too. "I want you in me. I want you here to suck on my nipples." Oh, no, but let's not diverge to porn. But it's just constantly this hot tension between these two, but they don't act on it. Always, when they want to act, boop, okay, bye bye, okay, bye bye, and then we get this Billy's ass. So then we get this guy's Billy, that this Billy guy calls, and then we see his full ass in the video chat. That's what we get. Always saying, I thought he was actually living in a garbage belt. I mean, outside. Oh, his room was just garbage belt. Man, oh man, oh man. But okay, I give this movie, a 4.5. I didn't like it a bit. I think for the pure fanatics of found footage, and especially for the people who like the Snapchat movie chat found footage movies like Host and Unfriended. Host I liked. Unfriended was okay, but this one is just. Then give me Unfriended in any time of the week. It's just no, no. In any case, the Collingwood story. Uh, Try it. 4.5, but you may be disappointed. But that's just my opinion. See you later, guys.